Hello and welcome back to City Skylines. Ladies and gentlemen, today is part 29 of our vanilla Let's Play, and we're here by the space elevator looking over the great city, the best city, the most amazing city of vanilla. And quite interestingly, there are 135 passengers that were serviced last week by the space elevator, so this thing is actually working, and that means that people that come in through the space elevator have to go down this little dirt road and just the whole way down here, and it's not— oh wow. Okay, so maybe putting the space elevator on top of a mountain in the middle of nowhere with a train line going across that same road was maybe not a very good idea, because it seems like this thing is closing every couple of seconds because there are just so many trains. So I'm probably going to want to change that, I think. And I think the easiest way to do that is going to be bulldozing this train line and just running it under the road instead. Because, I'll be honest, I don't really want to bridge it over. I think bridging a train line would look a little bit silly, so we'll just go ahead and run it under like that. And we'll run it to like there and connect that together, and there we go. So the traffic is no longer going to be interrupted by the trains, which is exactly what we want. A lot of this traffic is just going to the right. In fact, I imagine most of it's going to the right. So hopefully we'll see this become less of a problem. It does— oh wow, there's so much of it. It does seem like this thing is pumping out a car every few seconds, which is definitely not good. Maybe it would be a good idea to run— I never expected to see this road have be colored red for traffic. Maybe it would be a good idea to run a bus up here. So we have a bus that kind of goes to that point, or starts there, and then runs to— even this train station would be a good spot for that bus to run to, because then, you know, the bus comes in, it drops you off at the train station, and you can get a train into the city. So to be honest, I'm going to try that. I think that could be a pretty good idea. So we'll have the bus sort of stop in there. It's going to run back up the hill and go to there. And that bus can be— what color are my buses? Are they just blue? I feel like— no, my buses are red. So I think that bus line can be blue, but maybe a darker blue. So it's sort of— it's like space. Space elevator. Space is sort of blue. It's more like that color, but we'll go with sort of a darkish, kind of strong blue, sort of like that, for the space elevator buses, and hopefully we can see that deal with a bunch of the traffic. That's the dream, anyway. That is certain— oh wow, there's so many people waiting on a bus. That's good, though, because I imagine quite a few people are gonna opt to not drive themselves, so that should totally help. We just have to wait on a bus getting here, which is potentially going to take a while because I don't remember where my bus depot is. Where is my bus depot? Wait, oh, that's a bus depot. Okay. Yeah, there they are. They are, they're getting there. I think wait a minute, did I see some buses in there? I did, look at that. So they are doing their thing, that's good. I think it might be a good idea to add a small bus depot just over here. Sort of because I can, but also sort of because I think it might genuinely be a pretty good idea. So we'll do that. Get that there. A lot of traffic in this area, but it seems to be moving. Sort of. It is backing up a little bit, but it's generally moving. And it's getting out of this area fine as well, so I'm not too worried about that traffic. As for the buses, I don't think any have reached this point yet. Which is fine, I suppose. I can wait. There we go, the buses are arriving, which is great news, because hopefully we're going to see a whole bunch of people get onto a bus and opt to not drive. That said, it looks like there's way too many people for the buses to handle, so this might work, this might not work. I'm hoping it works. So I want to have a little look at the unique buildings that we haven't yet placed, and there are quite a few of them, but I feel like the cathedral would be a really nice building to get in here. Maybe Amsterdam Palace. Things like the shopping center would be super easy to get in here as well. And I just want to get a few of them in there between this episode and next. And if you don't know what's happening with the next episode, by the way, I mentioned it a few episodes ago. After part 30, I'm going to give this series a 1-week break. And then when we come back with part 31, we're going to have 5 to 10 mods enabled, and they're not going to be hugely game-changing. They're not going to be a bunch of custom assets. It's going to be stuff like Traffic President, which will let me manage traffic lights and lanes and stuff like that. I might enable a mod that gives me some extra types of road, but I feel like that's maybe a bit too much because then you need that mod to load this save. Whereas if I just use things like Traffic President or 81 tiles, technically you should be able to load this without too much hassle. So some sort of housekeeping, general upkeep mods, 5 to 10 of them, very simple mods that will just make this series continue and let me continue the city outside of the 9 tiles that we currently have. Because I would like to put an industrial area over there. I'd like to expand over this way a little bit. And you know, the city, it's a good size, but we could make it bigger. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So after part 30, the series will be going on a 1-week break. And then I'll be back with part 31, aptly titled Vanilla with Sprinkles. Because that's adorable. Anyway, let's go ahead and get the shopping center in here. And I'm trying to remember where exactly my biggest shopping district would be. Probably over here, to be honest. That's kind of the biggest concentration, not the biggest concentration, but it's a very distinct concentration of commercial buildings because most of this city is just office zoning. Which is kind of weird. We do currently have a very decent demand for both commercial and industrial zoning. But I don't really know what I'd do with that. I guess I'll make a start by changing out this space for some offices. And I'm going to do the same here as well. I'm just going to put some offices in there. Because I think that could be kind of nice, getting some offices in these spaces. And just changing things up a little bit. Because I don't think industry is a thing we really need anymore. At least, no, actually, that's a complete lie. That is a complete lie, because we do need industry. We absolutely need industry, because if we don't have industry, then we don't manufacture our own goods and then send them out to the shops, and that can become a problem. That said, we do have some pretty good links for commercial vehicles to get into the city, so it might not be that much of a big deal, but having industrial buildings in a city is often a good idea. I am noticing there are some issues with crime up this way in good old Hamilton Heights. So I'm going to throw a police station, I think, just a sort of small police station up into Hamilton Heights, which will give them some pretty good coverage. And is there anywhere else? This area doesn't have much police coverage at all, which is particularly bad. Could I get a small police station in any of those spaces? Not really. But if I moved a police station over to there, that gives us so much more coverage, which I think I'm going to do, because we're going to need it. So I'll put a little police station there. I might just move this one, because it's not really providing that much coverage. As for fire coverage, it's really not great either. And I do know that I specifically designed this little area in here for, you know, fire coverage, but... or not fire coverage, for my commercial buildings in this district, but I kind of want the police coverage to go up a little bit because we are having some actual issues with crime out here. Medical care, I don't know if it's a problem. Coverage in the city is kind of okay. Coverage up here is not so great, but I think we're kind of okay. I do think we might want to just spread a few more crematoriums through the city, though. Just here and there to make sure that we are, you know, covering all of the deaths in the city. So getting one there is not a bad idea. We do have one up there. We do have one up there. Maybe... oh, we have 2 there. Okay. That totally helps. I'll put one there as well, just for the sake of it. And I will maybe throw one up into Hamilton Heights as well, since I do think that would be a particularly good idea. Even if it's just at the end there. That'll just provide a little bit of coverage to that area, which is super, super important. Now, speaking of this area and speaking of super, super important, I think it would also be super, super important to get ourselves some parks in here. Just a few more of them. So something like a small playground in one of these spaces here. But if I could maybe do this with the... there we go. So that'll do. Small playground there. Right next to a large playground, admittedly, but we'll throw it in there anyway. We have things like a dog park, which can go there. And I think that's a nice enough spot. Not great for the people living here, but we'll just throw that in there to increase the land value and the leisure. Speaking of land value, this is possibly the first... actually, you know what? You know what? Land value is not much of a big deal because we have the Eden project. The average land value is $119 per meter squared, so I think land value might be alright in the city. Let's have a look at leisure, wherever that happens to be. Oh boy, there it is. That's leisure. Okay, so leisure in this area is alright. It's not great down this way. It's actually particularly bad out there and up here, so I might want to look into that. So, let's get some parks out here and make this area a bit more fun, I suppose. We'll start with a large playground, which I think could go in this space. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to de-zone that space in there and sort of just clear it out and make it one big park, just in that kind of square. Because that is kind of a prime location for something like a nice big park. So if I just go ahead and sort of clear out that so I can get a nice pathway through there, we'll put some buildings and stuff in there, get rid of all of the houses just there, and what I'll do is I'm going to run a pathway from here to sort of like that and like that, and then one from here, sort of curve like that and like that. Then I want to do similar on this side with a little pathway that just connects through to there. And that gives us this nice big square to put a bunch of parks. And I'm going to start with a large playground, sort of in that corner. I'm also going to put a large playground in that corner. And then if I could, I would like to get the park with trees in there as well. Just like so. We could put a small playground in. I think I'll do sort of a dog park area just in that corner. And that'll totally help. That should totally help. So what I'll do now is just run some pathways through this area. So I want to go sort of from there. Even though the trees are on the pathway, I'm not too worried about that. So sort of over like that. And then I guess sort of over like that. Although that sort of messes things up a little bit. So to say there should be fine. Connect you to that point. And connect... Oh, can I do this? Oh, I totally can. There we go. So that connects through to there. That connects to that pathway. And I guess I could take a little connection from here. Sort of over like that. See about there. Alright. Now that may look very messy, and I will admit it absolutely does look very messy. But that should, in theory, yeah, that absolutely increased the leisure in that area, which is exactly what I wanted to do. So what I'll do now is just go around and throw in some random parks. We'll get like a dog park at the end of that bit of road. We'll get ourselves a small playground in that corner, which will hopefully make those people kind of happy. It's definitely helping. It is most certainly helping. We could get a small park in there, which I guess wouldn't hurt. That's a pretty good spot for one as well, so that'll increase the leisure around there even more. And maybe a small park just... Oh, in there would be good. In there would be pretty good. Maybe there. Can I get one in that space? I can. It's a bit close to the other parks, though. I kind of wanted it up this way. But there's a crematorium sort of in the way. I could throw it there, but maybe I'll just go with another small park. Then over this way, we're going to want another small park. And then another... I'm just going to keep using these. They're pretty good. Get another one there. D-zone that little space, and D-zone that little space. And I think that's okay. That's helped. It's definitely helped. As for this space, we're going to just need a bunch of parks again. So let's do a small park there. And we'll do a small park just... Let's see. I think there could be pretty good. It's on a bit of a slope, but that's all right. I'm not too worried. And then just in there as well, perhaps. Yeah, that'll work. Just gives people some parks to enjoy and take their kids to or enjoy. I'm going to be honest. I still kind of like parks. I'm 23. 23? I'm not 23. I'm 22. I always say that. For some reason, I keep thinking I'm 23. I'm 22. And I still really like parks. They're kind of cool. They're kind of cool. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, we do have a little bit more housekeeping that we need to do in this space. And I'm very tempted to expand my industry sort of into this space. It's really, really tempting. And I think I'm going to... Well, maybe not even my industry, just some buildings in general. I think getting some buildings out here would be a pretty good idea. So if I extend that to there, for example, and extend that to there, I guess this will work. Extend that to there, and that to that point. That lets me get some buildings in here, which I think is definitely something worth doing. This little space can be empty, that's fine. It's not much of a big deal. And I guess I'll just go ahead and put some offices in there. There's not really much else I could put in there anyway, so I think some offices would be a pretty good bet. What are you connected to? That area. Interesting. I'm going to change that up a little bit because I've just noticed how bad that looks. Let's just connect to there. And then just bulldoze this massive, massive line. Because we really don't need it. So let's just get rid of all of you the whole way back to that spot there. There we go. Alright, so you guys are going to need water, that's for sure. We can totally get you that. There we go. And as for districts, you kind of need to be in the district because you're kind of not supposed to be the European style. So let's just cover the roads a little bit and then just sort of paint around like this a little bit. And that seems fine. So those buildings kind of need to go away. And we'll get the proper style in here as soon as we can. Just paint down like that as well. And there we go. Alright, so that's going to fill up that space quite nicely, which is exactly what I wanted. It's tempting to do the same over here a little bit. Even though I wanted this to kind of be a park, I think it's maybe a good idea to get some zoning in here. So I could not... was hoping I could run that road across, but apparently not. I can't do that either, because I decided to put a park there. I still sort of feel like this would be a good idea. So I'm going to move this park. I don't know where I'm going to put it. I guess there-ish. Somewhere like that. That'll be fine for now. I'll replace it later. Then let me do that kind of thing. And then, why are you all walking in that path still? That path doesn't go anywhere, guys. I'll run that to there. Then run that to... sort of there? Sure. I think that's fine. It just gets a tiny bit of zoning in there, which I think is something that area is going to need. I can get some small buildings along there as well, which I think, again, the area is going to maybe need. So that is completely fine by me. Can I connect you guys together? That is a no. Sort of. It sort of connects. Let's run that to there and to there. Bulldoze that bit. Except I kind of like that bit, but there we go. That's fine. That's totally fine. We can get some office buildings in there, and we'll do... We could do something in here. We could do some commercial. I guess I'll do some commercial. It'll be something a bit different. And this space in here is just going to have to stay sort of empty. As for this park, can it fit in there? Not very nicely, no. It can fit in there, though. Which I kind of like. It might look nice back there as well. But let's just throw it in there. It's not the best spot for it, but it'll do. As for this space, we're not going to zone there. We're just going to put a bunch of trees in there and make it look kind of pretty. So with that, it's pretty much time to get those trees. And yeah, make it look kind of pretty once this area builds, I suppose. You know, I don't think that looks so bad. I kind of like it. Obviously, we're sort of limited by what we can do in the vanilla game, but I think it looks alright. Nice amount of trees, nice little natural border between the city and the highway, and I'm okay with it. Looks alright to me. So interestingly, we are still having some pretty serious crime problems across the city, which I think is mostly down to the fact that we don't have any jail in the city. So I think it might be worth looking into getting one. Even though I said I kind of wanted to leave the jail as something to do after episode 30, I feel like we definitely need one. So we could put it out here, sort of on its own, away from this industrial zone, kind of in this space. We could put it over here. It is very close to a residential area, but I mean, that's one spot. We could put it over here, sort of at the bottom of this hill, right at the edge of the zoning, because there's not really anything out here, so that could work. There's obviously sort of over this way, which I actually think is maybe a bit too close to Hamilton Heights. There's this space here, which is a bit too close to the airport. Right on a cliff, though. That would look kind of awesome. But I'm sort of thinking this is probably the ideal spot. It is a bit out there, and I guess that's kind of the thing. Like, you go way out of the city, and lo and behold, you're in jail. So I guess we could try something out here with it. There's no harm in trying, I suppose. So let's do a little bit of road like that. And let's get the jail on it. Which, interestingly, doesn't fit central. That's kind of annoying. Let's do a 15 wide section of road where the jail does, in fact, fit. So that's going to be the prison cell. Or the prison. The jail. Whatever it is. Prison. There we go. So that's going to be the prison. What I then think we need to do is go 5 to either side here. In fact, let me go 10 to either side there. So bulldoze that. Go like that. And go 10. And then I want to put a couple of little... I'm tempted to put police headquarters out here. I know it's not going to be that effective because the coverage isn't going to be that great, but I'm still really tempted to do it. Maybe we run a road up like this and put the police headquarters on it instead. So if I did that and that, then put the police headquarters sort of sideways there and sideways there. I just want to make this area look like it's got stuff going on, you know? Let me go 10 and whatever distance that is. 10 and 5, I guess. And then 10 and 5. Then there isn't really a specific middle point here, which is a problem. So that's maybe not going to work. That's a shame. I was hoping I could get some kind of one-way system going around there, kind of similar to what I did here. I thought that could be a fairly good idea, but doesn't really seem like that's going to happen. Let's go 10 and 10 and 15, and maybe put another jail back there. It's not going to fit. Okay, that wasn't far enough. Interesting. Let's go like that. I think that's enough. I just reckon another jail could be a nice addition. It makes the area look bigger. It makes it look like there's more going on. It's interesting, you know? Then I can move the police stations sort of to be central there and sort of central there. Maybe a couple of fire station could be useful out there as well. We can get one there and there. Again, just looks kind of interesting. I'm not really sure what I'm trying to do with this area. I want it to look interesting, you know? So, with that, let's turn this into a one-way system that sort of goes around like that. Is that correct? That goes that way. So that goes around, I think, the wrong way, to be honest. I feel like it should go this way. So if I did that. Does that work? I really don't know. I'm actually I'm really confused about this. What way does the traffic flow in this Let's Play? Because I've just got... Okay, so the traffic... It's right hand... Oh, God. It should go that way then, right? I think. Goes that way. Sure. That's fine. That'll do. So that's going to let traffic sort of flow out this way, which I kind of want. Let's have this sort of go to there. And there and there. So we have this little loop as well. Then off of that loop, I can't really go central, which is the biggest problem. I kind of really wanted to be able to. Maybe if I make that a bit wider, maybe then I can. Like, if I go there, I can totally do it. So do that, and then go from the middle there. All right. So that'll be fine. That'll be completely fine. I also realized I could link this over to that road, which might be an idea, because there's no point creating another junction down here, so let's just do that. And then run this little road sort of curving down the mountain a little bit and connect it to there. And that seems fine to me. Traffic has to sort of go around, but that's okay. That's not much of a big deal. I could move these fire stations into that middle bit, which I kind of like. Just adds a bit more stuff to that space, and I'm gonna be honest, stuff is all I'm really trying to add at this point to make this thing look interesting. I do, of course, want to do some decorations in this little middle bit, though. So we'll do that kind of thing there. We'll do, I guess, something in the middle as well. You could do a little pathway, sort of going like this as well, which I might as well do. So we'll do that and that, which I think works fine. We'll do the same on this side, just like that, which is a bit weird, but whatever. Kind of works. As for the rest of it, I think just a bunch of trees, because I can't do walls. This is the thing. In Emerald County, I did a prison, I used a lot of walls that are in the game, you just can't place them in the vanilla game. So, I mean, I could use rocks. I could put some big rocks around here, I can actually put them kind of close together as well. Which might look really interesting. If I just use a variety of different rocks and stuff to make this wall. Oh, now that is tempting. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna use rocks to build a wall. Okay, so this might look weird and unrealistic, but I kind of happen to really like it. Like, I really do. It's strange, and it's different, and it makes no sense because it would be a nightmare to get those rocks there, especially some of the bigger ones, which we can pretend were there already, but I still really like how this looks. Now, unfortunately, I have just noticed something that I really should have caught at the beginning of the episode that I'm sure you've seen already, and I'm sure a few people have already commented about, despite me not addressing it in the video. Unlimited money is currently switched on, and usually, if I caught it early in an episode and any recording, I'd be like, oh, I'll just restart, it's fine. But I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, hey, let's wrap up this episode. And I really don't want to redo all of this because I really like how this looks. And we've made a few small changes here and there. And I think it's fine anyway because we had like $11 million. And placing all of this, you know, it hasn't broken the bank in terms of our income. So we're okay. You know, we had a bunch of money. We still would have a bunch of money. So next episode, unlimited money will be off. This episode, it was an accident. Again, I was working in Emerald County. I have unlimited money in Emerald County. I obviously didn't switch it off for this playthrough. And before someone says that means I didn't turn my mods off, no. Unlimited money, and also unlock all, which I assume is currently switched on as well. Those aren't mods, those are in the game by default, so the no workshop command that I use to disable all of my mods won't actually work in that particular situation. So that was completely my mistake, I do apologize, but ladies and gentlemen, I am going to leave it there for today. We have a prison, and I think it looks kind of interesting, especially from above. We do still have some issues with crime up in this particular direction, and I think what I might do to fix that is just go ahead and add in a big old police station right up by the airport, because if there's going to be a place that has a big old police station, it is probably going to be an airport. And I think a good way to do it would be just extending a little bit of road here to about that point, and then just throwing a big old police station right there. And I think that looks all right. It's a bit weird looking, but I think it's okay. I might be able to get a little fire station in there too. Yeah, I totally could. What about a medical clinic instead? Yeah, I like it. That totally works. Totally works. Gives us some nice police coverage up by the airport. Gives some nice police coverage to these guys over here. And I think that's super important. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, thank you kind of for watching. This has been City Skylines and the Vanilla Let's Play Part 29. Another reminder that after the next episode, Part 30, the series is going to be having a 1-week break. so I can put together some mods and just enjoy a little bit of a break, and then we will be right back into the mix of things in Vanilla with Sprinkles, the slightly modded Let's Play that'll follow this one. I don't know if it will necessarily be part 31, or if it'll just be something like Vanilla with Sprinkles part 1. I don't really know. We'll see. But with that in mind, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!